Hello, everyday leaders. Tonight is Wednesday, December the 16th. My goodness, this year has flown by. It's been 9 months through COVID, and I intentionally wanted to set up this program live to bring you leaders that are changing their lives, that are impacting the world in so many ways. And every night we're trying to bring someone else on that is really going to add value. Here we are with Terry Earthwind Nichols. I said last night he was our first podcast in 2019, and actually, it was 2020, and I was just talking. Terry, I can't believe that we actually just met at the beginning of this year.
Yeah, you and I were talking before we came on live. We've gotten along so well that it just seems like we've known each other for a very long time, and that's not all bad. That's not all bad.
It's not all bad. It's so great because, as we said, we were building our networks and so many things that we believed in leadership. And it was so important that we would just be able to add value. And so I said, would you mind joining me on a live this year again? Because I think what you shared was really profound. First of all, a lot of people said, oh my gosh, what he said really made me think about things. And so first, the tagline, you're known as this evolutionary healer. And when I first met you, I thought, what is that? So can you tell just the audience in general, what do you do and how does this affect your daily life and what you do?
Well, evolutionary is eve of illumination, or that thought that comes to you before you see it, before it manifests, right? And healer is to heal thyself or to go forward from healing. So evolutionary healer was born, and it's grown over the last 8 years to be 4 divisions on 5 continents, doing business in 5 languages in 13 countries. So we're all over the place doing a lot of different things, and our motto is changing and saving lives every day. And I'm sure we're going to talk about that a little bit. So yeah, evolutionary healer.
Yes, it's awesome. The things that you do, part of learning about you was like, taking it beyond, taking it to the next step, thinking about you being on stage, doing the practices that you preach. And so I think it really does make a difference for people that are kind of stuck and struggling. And you kind of find that magic lock, right? You're like, okay, here's the key, and let's take you to the next level. So that's what I love about what you do, Terry.
Well, it's not just me. I for 6 years now, I've been training people. So I have 5 master certified. That means they can go out and teach this. And I have 42 practitioners all over the place. And, we all do the same job exactly the same way. Even when we do it in German or whatever, the transcripts from the sequence in English are as close as it can get, according to that language's linguist that we hired to do the transcriptions, so that every question is asked in exactly the same way every single time, me included. And I made this stuff up, right? See, I created this over a decade ago. And I still read right off of the document because it's that good. You can't go wrong going right off the sequence. Yeah, so it's pretty incredible.
But talking about patterns, right? It's if you have a structured pattern and you follow it, and then you can duplicate it and scale it. And that's what I think is really important for people that have been suffering right through COVID, that have not had these patterns in their life, or maybe they've been successful entrepreneurs or successful in corporate America, and they've been traveling around the world every single day. And now that we're kind of grounded, you have to find new patterns to be able to be successful and figure out what your life's going to look like.
Yeah. Well, a big part about what we do, anybody that becomes a client for coaching or our mentoring programs or anything like that, first thing, they go through the CR process, because we want to know if anything exists in early childhood that could distract their success. Okay. And so that's number one. And from that, we have just, our coaching and stuff. Hey, our people make money when they come out of our program. They're making money. A lot of coaching programs can't say that. My
Exactly.
people come out making money. So that's not so bad.
That's not so bad. No. And you've gotten quite a resume. And I wanted to share with people that are watching us on LinkedIn or YouTube or Facebook. There are so many kind of components to who you are, Terry. You're just not this one guy that does coaching. I wanted to share, first of all, uh, one of the pages that I shared with you before. Here, I'm going to bring it up.
Mhm.
And just to kind of talk about this project, this Good Men project that you were involved in, I think this is
Yeah.
so great. And I really wanted to celebrate you because talk to us about this.
The Good Men Project is an online magazine. Has a ton of people working for it. I wrote for it for a couple of years. Excuse me. And it was kind of fun. This particular article there was for Father's Day a couple of years ago, just before Father's Day. My father wore Old Spice aftershave. Okay. I wake up at like 2 a.m. smelling Old Spice aftershave. And before I was fully awakened and where I was saying, Daddy, are you there, Daddy? Now I'm 67 years old, ladies and gentlemen. At that time, I was 66. But it was that distinct. And so I wrote about that, and doing so was very therapeutic for me too. It's a nice reflection on this incredible relationship that my father and I had. He died when I was 17, just before I graduated from high school. Had a tough time with heart attacks at a young age. And I found that I'm not a writer, I'm a storyteller. There's a big difference. Big difference. Writers write about stuff. Storytellers tell a story, engage you, and that's what I do, and I enjoy doing that. So, Good Men Project was fun. It got me some writing skills and some storytelling skills, and now, like you and I just we just found this out. I am a opinion columnist with CEO World online. So, and moving up, so to speak. These guys over at Good Men Project, if you had a chance to get over there and look at their stuff, they got a million categories and they write about all kinds of stuff. And they're nice people. I like them.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing, right? When you say writers and storytellers are different. And I think
Yeah.
that is a real big thing to think about because so many people are saying, okay, I'm journaling now that we've been isolated and in quarantine and trying to tell their story or trying to figure out like what the next step is. And I think it's different, right? So if you write and journal, then getting up and telling a story and being a coach and being a speaker, that has a whole different component to it. And
Yeah.
so being able to do that and express yourself in that way, that's kind of where you bring it in and what you do best is like taking people back to the time when they remember something that has significance and symbolizing something, right?
Right. Right. I'm massively successful on the stage.
Mhm.
I've spoke to as many as 2,750 people, nationally and internationally. I have that kind of voice where I connect with people right away because I don't speak to an audience, I speak to people. Okay. And when I look at somebody, I look at them and I don't care if they're 30 rows back, I see them and they know I see them and that touches them. And so the whatever I'm talking about at the time becomes personal between me and another person, even though there might be 1,000 people in there. They all feel like I'm talking to each of them, and that's what a storyteller does. A lot of speech people can put out some speeches that are just amazing, but when you walk out of the room, you don't feel that fulfilled. Excited maybe, but you don't feel fulfilled. But then when you get a storyteller and you listen to whatever they're keynoting or whatever, you come out and you feel different. That's exciting. I love to do that.
It's exciting because really, we've all been to those conferences and we go, "Oh, but that was the guy that I really want to write. That's the one that I want to stand in line and get your book. That's the one that I want to call up next and say, hey, come back to our organization," right? And so that's why I love having you on here tonight because so many people, like they have been overwhelmed with virtual summits and training teams. And so, but highlighting what you do, share your books right here on Amazon, because I think this gives people a way to be able to connect to you immediately. And I would like to share that here real quick. And if you could talk about the books that you've written, I know you have one here recently that you were releasing when we talked in January, which was Profiling for Profits.
Right. That I consider to be a book that should be in every phone, on every iPad, every laptop, everywhere. Because what it does is it teaches you how a person's nod of the head or different things like that tells you whether or not what you're telling them is getting through. Now you can use it in a sales movement, or if you're talking to somebody, or just want to know if somebody's really okay. You can watch those subtle movements that are not classified as body language, but the way I tip my head right now, you just sold me. But if I go like this, I'm ready to leave. Okay. And I explain how that works. In fact, I explain how to do it right here on the phone and in an email too, when you're reading the email. Okay. So the book is like 80 some pages. It's what we call a back of the room book. Most of my books are that way. And they're designed to be a quick read with a lot of information. The illustrations in Profiling for Profit, What Crossed Arms Don't Tell You, is profound. Like if I'm standing in front of you like this, but I tilt my head to the left, even though I'm giving you a no buy sign, I'm ready to buy. All you got to do is trial close me. I did that for my first $2,000 custom clothing suit sale, and it's in the book. Now, there's other books there too that evolve your business. You know, some great ideas to you have it, you started your business, you kind of started moving. Now what?
Mhm.
Right? Here are some things that we've learned in business. I've started and sold many businesses, and these are the things that I've learned over the years. That and my partner and wife, Lynn Nichols. There's words that I walk with is pretty profound because people just love what I put out on social media. So I put it in a book.
Mhm.
I'm a published author internationally as well as nationally, and a poet. A lot of people don't know that. There are poems in there. There's other two books there about my what will be a 10 or 12 book, which turns into a one big biography on my life, because it's pretty an interesting one. So those are kind of like my books. But here's the kicker, ladies and gentlemen. Every dime that we make off of any of those books you see right there, okay, goes to a nonprofit that helps veterans with PTSD and their families.
Mm.
All of it, not 10% on Saturday, all of it. That we don't pay for the book or Amazon in this case. The full proceeds go to that nonprofit. And that's important. So you'll hardly ever see me discount, because that's taking money away from people who need it.
Mhm. That's amazing. Terry, I want to go back to something that you said, when somebody is starting a new job, when they're trying sales for the first time.
Mhm.
And so these are really important because they're going to build strategies, for them
Yeah.
to be able to really connect and be successful. And
Uh-huh.
some of those things that we learn, we have a lot of fears to do for the first time. And so if you can create success in those patterns and really understand what to look for, that's going to build your momentum a lot faster.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Somebody, even myself, I've been a salesman all my adult life, even when I was in high school. And I can be talking to what we would consider a rookie, and that rookie can sell me if they're telling me the truth and they believe in what they say. Then I want to know more, and I buy a lot, even though they're brand new and I'm a very seasoned professional. In fact, if I like them, I'll give them some pointers, and I'll still probably buy from them. But somebody who knows all the answers, I don't trust them. They're all talk.
Mhm.
And you see that out there. And well, God bless them. They're not the type of person I do business with. And in the future, with social media and more internet and intranet exposure to sales and presenting, you got to be the real deal because they can research you. And like while you're talking, they're Googling you or running a Bing on you. So, it's more than just a little bit.
We've got a fan here that says this is a great interview, Terry.
Hey, Joe Ake. Hi, Joe.
Hey, I want to go back to something that you said because, a lot of people when they're starting something new, uh, and I've trained a lot of sales teams, and it's this fear that they have that they won't know what to say if something doesn't go right. They think they always have to have the answers. And I love this kind of topic and conversation because we know, being in this for a long time, right? It's when you make the mistake, it's how you show up next that's really important.
Everybody makes mistakes. It's what you do afterwards. I'll give you a great example. Just happened last night. We were out to eat at one of the famous resorts owned by Omni here in Asheville called the Omni Grove Park Inn. 5-star, really nice. And server blew it. Walked right up and said, "I'm sorry, I blew this. I didn't do this right. Can you let me redo it and make it right for you?" In a second. And I was hungry. But in a second, I said, "Sure, take your time, make it right." And she came back, and when she brought the order back, it was spot on. Fabulous. Okay. It's not making the mistake. It's how you accept the responsibility and what you're willing to do to make the correction. I once was the night manager at a country club way back in the 90s. At late last century. I love saying that. It's fun. But one of the club members was a gentleman who was trained by Ray Kroc himself. He owned all of the McDonald franchises in southern Minnesota. And that's a lot of franchises. But he said one thing that, we were rushing to get Sunday brunch open. He walks up and he just grabs me by the arm, not hard, just touching. And he says, "Let me tell you about something I learned from Ray Kroc once, way back." He said, "Never open till you're ready, because they'll forgive you for opening late. They'll never forgive you for not having it right."
Mm-hmm.
Right? And once in a while, you're not going to have it right, but own up to it and be the big person. Be the big person in the room. You can be the newest person in the room and still be the biggest.
It's a great lesson because so many people right now are experiencing things or they're trying new things or they're thinking about starting businesses. And so that's why I love having you here as a resource because they're so, lost, I think, in some ways. Like, who do we connect to? And you are such a great resource because you just have been doing so many things and you teach this and saying having to do it virtually. I think it's probably been really great for all of us. What do you think you've learned the most through doing more virtual training and teaching?
Staying focused more. You can goof around a little bit live, okay? But not so online. It's just you and me and the camera. And I have enjoyed this last 9 months because I have been working with some incredibly high-end world traveling speakers, okay, that have never had to deal with a camera. Mm-hmm. They've always been live. $50, $60, $70, $80,000 a keynote. That's big time, okay? And these people didn't have a clue. And I said, wait a minute. Let me give you something right up front, okay? This is my business. I know this. You're talking to a camera, and even if you've got to put the picture of your favorite grandchild right above the lens of the camera, you're talking to people who want to hear you. Mm-hmm. Do not talk to the screen. You talk to the camera because you, the people that are watching right now, I appreciate you being here. And for those of you who are going to see the recording, I appreciate you even more because you made the extra effort to come and stop by. But you're real. You're real people out there, okay? There's a difference between human, a classification, and a person who's a living, breathing person, who has emotions,
Mhm.
who has questions, has crappy days, you know?
It's still that connection, you're right, because
Yeah.
that's what we have lost the ability to think that, "Hey, we have a way to connect," and I think you do bring up a great point. It is exhausting now that we're all on Zoom, right? We've been traveling all over the world and saying, "Oh, I get up on stage for an hour or 2 or teach for a day," and then you get back in the airplane, in your car, and you travel home, and you're reading, you're texting, and you're calling people. Now you're always online. We're more productive, but my goodness, it is a completely different world from anything that you're used to. And so I love that you brought that up because we're hearing this, I'm zoomed out and I'm exhausted and you're fatigued in a different way. And so what are you doing? What are you and Linda doing to kind of, absorb that and make sure that you intentionally take some time to just detox?
Let me give you a day that's not too unusual. I am up at 2 o'clock in the morning, my time, to be pretty and in front of the camera for a Zoom call or something in Central or Eastern Europe at 3 o'clock in the morning, which is 6, 7 o'clock in the morning their time. Okay, or 8 o'clock or 9 o'clock. And then I work until 10 or 11. On these days, I will take a chunk of my calendar from 11 to 1 or so, and I go take a nap. Okay. And not an unusual day is to start in Moscow, for instance, then Madrid, Aruba, or Miami. I'm on the East Coast of the US. And then have something in LA or Anchorage, talk to Tokyo, and end up at 11 o'clock at night talking to Singapore, having breakfast with them.
Mhm.
Okay. And I'll get a couple of naps in there. But here's the thing, the next morning, I make sure I have nothing until like 9 o'clock. So I can wake up when my body wants to wake up, not from an alarm clock.
Mhm.
Okay. I have alarms set 7 days a week. Hardly ever hear them because I'm a guy who gets up 4 o'clock in the morning, 4 or 5, 6 o'clock. And just about all of my emails, all my paperwork, if I'm writing an article or anything like that, that's all done before breakfast. So all day long, I'm able to go one-on-one.
Mhm.
Okay. And if you're tired from Zoom calls, you're too up. Okay. Get a decaf. Find something that will allow you to relax. I, for instance, have a 30-second meditation that feels as good as if I did it for 20 minutes. I do cellular memory. For you guys that are on there right now, let's do it. 30 seconds. That's all we're going to do.
Awesome.
Step into a shower. Put that water temperature at that perfect position. Let it hit your head and flow across your body, and how good that feels and how it undulates through the body, off the feet and away from you. You're washing off soap and stuff like that in the shower. But here's the important part. Pretend that you can shift the water to light, like on Star Trek, okay? Where instantly you have light going across your body, but you're remembering the feeling of the shower. Now you have cellular memory that will go, oh, and in 30 seconds, folks, you're calm. And it's like, then boom, let's go. All right. Now, what Melahni doesn't know, and I did it just before I got on here, is I have a secret, ladies and gentlemen. It's called AC/DC. You Shook Me All Night Long. That's my up song. Hey, I'm an old rocker. Okay. That's my up song. So I'll play that before I get on an event or anything like that. Then the blood's flowing. I'm breathing right. I've danced a little bit in my office, and I'm absolutely focused on what's going on, rather than running around at the last minute, getting that cup of coffee or whatever, and doing this for the first 15 minutes of the event. Try that. Try dancing or doing something like that takes your mind completely aware from where you're going, and then it allows it to come back, because the brain has a natural connection ability.
Mm.
And when you connect again, you're in. Okay. So that's my tip of the day, so to speak.
That's so great because so many of us need those tips, right? Nobody's been sitting in front of their computers for 10 hours a day until the last 9 months. And so
Yeah.
I just hear this all the time from clients. What do I do? And I'm like, put your phone on mute and go for a walk, right? When you go to the refrigerator, walk around the house 3 times to get your blood flowing. Like there's so
Yeah.
many things. So your memory, you're right. You've got to trigger something that really energizes you and inspires you. And then just kind of take that breath and detox a little bit. Uh,
Yeah, absolutely.
it's so important. So, are you writing another book? Have you decided to do anything? Oh, I know it's a secret, right?
It's a secret, actually. Consortium probably be out mid-spring. Consortium is my division that I just started up, where I went out and was on LinkedIn connecting with very high-end, very successful coaches and consultants to Fortune 100 companies. Okay, high-level people, and got to know them with the idea. Now, this started in fall of 2019 with the idea I would launch sometime mid to 2021. Well, when COVID hit, there was no better time to change the basic business model from that of timelines and goals and all the stress to an achievement based business model where, well, I'll ask you guys a question. You guys think about this for a second. When was the last time you achieved something? How good did you feel? Right?
Mhm.
And how good did it feel to have somebody above you that you know, like, and trust and respect acknowledge that? Man, you're ready to do it again. So, what if your whole company's atmosphere was around achievement and not goals and timelines?
Mm.
Okay. Timelines are for the accounting department. Okay. There's a date and time that the taxes got to be done. There's a date and time that the payroll's got to go out. That's their job. Okay. We even have figured out a way to make that an achievement-based system too. But here's the thing. Here's what we know for sure in the last 15 months that we've been working this model. Anybody who's achieving does not burn out. Anybody that's achieving doesn't get sick or take sick days. And anybody who's achieving don't change their jobs. They're not leaving that. They're going to stay. And it doesn't matter. Let's take a big company, Bank of America, big company worldwide, right? Well, that person sitting at the window at the drive up, tell her, okay, she's just as important as the regional vice president because she can come up with an idea that will make Bank of America and their system work better. And not only do that, but she'll get recognized for that achievement. And then she'll get paid a percentage of what it was worth. Now, you think about Bank of America, if it was worth 1% of retail banking alone, that young person could get a $50,000 reward. Okay. So the mindset of the corporation is then fixed on COVID coming in. It's not going to destroy the world. Instead of closing the bank branches, which they had to do because they had to separate us at first, okay? But then there was a point where they could come back together, but they didn't want to take on customers. It was just too much of a hassle. So what happens now is they go to their employees and they say, okay, team, that's what Bank of America likes to use, team. I like that. And team, come up with some ideas to keep those doors open. What do we do to shift? Okay, a lot of people are going to get in trouble with, okay, let's say mortgages. All right, so let's change the bank branch into a phone center and we'll all get trained on servicing mortgages in various incredible ways and get some money from the federal government because they like to keep mortgages going too. And everybody stays at work. Everybody achieves more. And guess what happens? You got some happy customers out there that's not going to lose their house or their apartment complexes or whatever. Do you see how this new consortium works? Well, I'm writing the book based on this concept now. And I should have it out by certainly by summer, but I'm thinking probably March, April.
That's awesome. And what's the name of the book called, Terry?
Consortium, the new business model.
Consortium, the new business model. So if we go back through here, if any of you, Terry Earthwind Nichols, if you go on Amazon, and it'll be in the book file. So that's really awesome. And if you're in the Everyday Leaders group or any connection to the Everyday Leaders platform, we will be sharing that as soon as it is released, because that'll be incredible to have on our bookshelf.
Right. Give me just a second, and I'll give you the exact title of it.
Yeah,
And then you guys can have it.
that would be awesome.
And it's on recording. Then I've got to do it, right?
Yeah, exactly. And I'll type it in here. We'll put it on the banner.
Here we go. Okay, so bring her up, and we'll have the exact title. Yeah, Consortium, Business Success Done Right in the 21st, 20-1st century. So Consortium, Business Success Done Right in the 21st century. Now I'm on the mark for it.
But
I love that.
what we need, right? Keeping us accountable.
Yeah.
Let me put your name in here. So that'll be on the banner as well.
Yep, that'll be book number 5.
So much fun, Terry. You're always such a joy to have with us. And
Thank you, Melahni.
you are just
I
wonderful.
enjoy cool people. I enjoy you guys.
Here we go. So I'm going to make sure that I have this. Now we're going to say, wait. There we go.
That's good.
There we go. All right. So now this is accountability, right? This is all about accountability. So now we have this recorded. And as soon as you release this, I want you to come back and share this with us. Will you?
Yeah, we'll do it.
Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome. Terry, there are so many things. I could talk to you for hours and hours, because what you and Linda together, you're a team like Joe and I. You're a couple that works really hard to make your life success around your business and your beliefs. So I'm going to share real quick just your website, and so we can see Linda, because she's just absolutely adorable. I've only gotten the chance to talk to her behind the scenes. So, but I hope maybe someday that I'll get to meet her.
Oh, I think that's going to happen.
Yeah.
One of your events or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's an incredible, incredible woman. And we both work 7 days a week. People get, what? And I go, yeah, if we want to take Tuesday off, we don't work. If we want to take Sunday, we own the company. Okay. And we're online. So our people all over the world, they do the same thing. So, it's not like we have to go open a box and let people in to see what we've got, because we don't. Our best and business, our best work is right here online. Mm-hmm. So, yeah. There's my recent award, top 20 thought leader from Thinkers 360. Yeah, that was nice. Mm-hmm. And we talked about, I was honored to be a founding partner for the Global Institute for Thought Leadership. It's about 30 of us from all over the world that are very high-end speakers, coaches, consultants, some genius project managers, Grammy award winning artists, many time over New York Times and international bestsellers, authors. It's just a fabulous group. And that started from a LinkedIn post by a thought leader coach. And here 9 months later, we all said, you know what, let's put a website up. Let's organize. We have something pretty amazing here that we can put out there to help a lot of people, number one, and it gives us more exposure, so more places internationally can know about us as well. So yeah, it's really been well received all over.
What a great teaching lesson, right? For people that have said, I haven't started anything yet, I haven't connected to a new group, I've just been kind of working and surviving and figuring out how to teach the kids online. But I think it's so clear that if you're just consistent and you show up for what you really believe in, amazing things can happen. The things that you're creating together, I just think that's awesome.
Yeah, I've never been a person who conceives the box process, never bought into it. There is no box. Sky's the limit. No, it isn't. That's a limiting belief. Okay. The sky is infinite. There is no box. And when you get rid of the box, you give away all of these inhibitors that keep you from doing things. And you know what? The more you fail, the more successful you're going to be, because every time you in life, there's only two things that ever happen. Remember back when you started to walk, you sat down a lot, okay, but you didn't give up. You either succeed at something or you learn. You don't fail, okay? Somebody made up fail somewhere. Too bad. We teach that too. You know, in that new mentor program I told you about, 15-month mentor program. Who does that? Nobody. Me. Okay. And that's because month one is the CR process. That's a 30-day process. And then I decided, you know what? Let's just put it out there, and I'm going to do even better than that. This group that I take through the process, this program, will come in at 2019 prices, not even 2020 or 2021. Okay, they'll come in last year's year of running around and opportunities, and they'll be with me for 15 months. Okay. And I've already gotten some queries. So what is it that you're going to do? I said, I don't know. I said, let's talk. And it was, well, wait a minute. You got a program for 15 months and you don't know what you're going to do with it. And I said, that's exactly right. Every single one of my mentees is a single person. They have a different business. They have a different mindset. They have different experience. Everything that person needs is their 15-month program. There's no cookie cutters, none of that stuff. You know, there may be some crossover, but very little, very little. The people that have gone through my mentor programs in the past, number one, like we talked about earlier, positive return on investment. Okay. You make money at the end of this. Mm-hmm. You're out there, you're making money, you're getting what you wanted done. And sometimes it's not even what you thought it was when we started. Because by the time you go through the CR process and you really get in touch with who you really are as a person, a lot of things change, and the way you do it. I have perfect example, Melanie. This is good. I took a CR client through the process, and she decided that she was a client, coaching client, and she would not talk to her women's group. She's that shy. When she finished that 30 days, the very first thing we did was how to tell her women's group what she just accomplished. Okay. Now she speaks from the stage. So this original personality, once clicked in, changes a lot. So what she thought was her business, where she was going, all those kinds of things, nowhere near the different. And she's making money. So yeah, you never know what you're going to find. And that's fabulous. You know, changing and saving lives every day is really the fact.
It is really, because when you inspire somebody, that's what real leaders are, right? Duplicating your efforts and being able to say, look, you can do it too. And it just takes a little bit of mentoring. And some people say, you know, mentoring is just being there as a support system. It's really so much more than that, right? It's developing all of their goals and dreams and helping them achieve, and having resources around you so that you can help each other. I want to share your LinkedIn page real quick, Terry.
Okay.
Because I think, you know, for people that are watching on LinkedIn right now and can connect to you, you've got your Profiling for Profits there, that book at the top. So if you want to get in touch with Terry, all you have to do is go to LinkedIn, but it is Terry Earthwind. It is Terry Earthwind, not Terry Earthwind Nichols.
Yeah, exactly. You know, Terry Nichols, there's probably 20,000 Terry Nichols in America alone, let alone Canada and everywhere else. There is one Terry Earthwind Nichols in the world. I'm Chickamauga Cherokee. Earthwind is my tribal name. So it is also my brand. And I'm a global ambassador for refugees. So the title is real. It's not just put up there. It's real. And this is the latest and greatest of anything that you can put on a LinkedIn profile is on my profile. People who teach LinkedIn profiles have used my profile as an example. Okay, so take a look at it if nothing else. Follow me if you wish. Okay, it's getting hard to connect with me, but follow if you wish. You know, I've got, I don't know, 8,000 or 9,000 followers now, something like that. And so yeah, it's great. I love it.
It is great. So tell me about your mentoring program. You've got 15 or so. How many people do you take in your program?
That depends. Usually 5 to 7.
Mm-hmm.
If I get a group of 5 people who are kind of new in their business and those kinds of things, I hardly ever take them on, but they have that personality that I think with the 2 of us could work well together. I'll only take 5.
Mm-hmm.
I've had 9, and those 9 were people who've been in business over 5 years. They make money. They're in the mid 6-figure range and higher. They've got their stuff going. They want to go. They've been here too long, and they want to go here. That's a different kind of group and a different kind of mindset. So I can work with more of them because they're easier to work with. They'll talk to me for 5 minutes and go do what I say. A rookie's going to say, well, I don't know if I want to do it quite that way. I was thinking this way. And say, okay, you want to make money? Well, yes. And I can then do what I tell you. So they're more work. So I there's not any difference in money. The investment's the same. And if you go on my on the profile LinkedIn and look at my activity there, you'll see a post I did recently announcing the 15-month program. And there's a link also there to have a chat with me to see whether or not that's good for you.
Perfect. Well, I really want to encourage everybody. If you have not connected to this man, he is amazing. And he really made me think differently the whole year. And so when I said 2019, I'm like, no, we really just connected this year. And I am so happy because of the things that you made me think about January and February. Then we go into COVID. And it was like, oh my goodness. And I know we have connected offline several times for different things. And so I just really appreciate you, Terry, because you're one of those people that does change people's lives when you meet them. And you're one of those. And so it's been really great. I know we're going to be partners in crime, if you will, in so many projects, because it's really
Absolutely.
important to lift people, right? And get them through and help them with strategies. And that's really the kind of person that you are. And I'm just so honored that I've had the chance to call you a friend this year.
Oh, you're such a great person. I wanted to say one thing more, folks, for you listening in or listening to the recording. I am who you see right now. There is no TV personality. Okay, I'm as big a knucklehead and wild and crazy off camera as I am on, and I've had a very interesting journey in life, and my success in coaching really comes down to one thing. I'm ahead of you on the road. I'm not above you. Okay. That's a big difference.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, Mel, this has been great. I'm loving this.
Yeah, this is so fun. I want you to come back. And so we've got you committed to writing this book. So when you get this out, I definitely want to hear from you. And I want you to bring your lovely wife, Linda, back on next time. Will you do that?
Yeah, let's do that.
Yeah, that would be awesome. And maybe we can convince Joe to get on here too. And
Couples night.
we can have a coffee together, right?
Have couples night.
Oh,
Yeah, I love it.
yes, goodness. Well, thank you for joining tonight. Can you so give us one more tip to get through the end of the year that will help us just kind of calm down, relax, and have a great kickoff to 2021?
Hop in the shower if you can and try the meditation. Man, it's powerful. I have had some people that would not do that on a bet, decide to try it while they were in the shower, and they were blown away. Okay. So I think the thing to leave all of you right now is, if you can be anything, be kind. Okay. Because kind people do all right in life. Okay. You send out what you get back. So send out plenty of love and plenty of kindness. And for every person you give that to, they give it to others, and 3 more come back at you, and 10 more come back at you. It comes back if you do the math. So yeah, if you can be anything, be kind.
Be kind. You heard it from Terry Earthwind Nichols. Terry, thank you so much for joining tonight. Come back. I can't wait. And happy early birthday to you guys. I know we're all Capricorns, so
Yeah, right.
very cool.
My daughter was just here too. She's a Cap.
Yeah.
My wife just crazy about that. My first wife was a cancer, and my second wife now is a cancer, and yeah, so that's a big joke in the family. Let me tell you.
I'm married to a cancer too.
Well, that's a good thing.
Isn't that funny? It is. I know. Oh my goodness. Well, Terry, thank you for joining us. And for everybody that's watching, tomorrow night we have Jerome Myers that's going to talk about dream catchers. And remember, on Friday morning, now it's not on my stream, but we're doing the breast cancer survivors program. There's a panel that I'm going to be the master of ceremonies for. So join in if you haven't joined that Eventbrite. Go to last night's recording with Gigi Sabat and Kelly Eckwurzel. And that'll be really fantastic from 10 a.m. to noon Eastern. That'll be streaming. So you have to get a ticket for that. And then there's a discussion group. So if you're anyone that needs some help or has someone in your family that's surviving through breast cancer, it'll be a great event to get connected to. So thank you again, Terry, for joining us tonight. I really appreciate you. Have a very Merry Christmas and come back and join us real soon. Okay.
Same to you and Joe. Thanks again for letting me come on.
Oh, absolutely. Have a great night.
Bye.
Bye-bye.